So the USA has had 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Joe Oliver, is this a recession?
Well, technically, of course, it is a recession, but the administration is saying it really isn't one because the unemployment rate is so low, and you can worry about talk a lot about nomenclature. I think if they have a third quarter, it's going to be pretty hard to spin that. But the concern is more what's going to happen next year, and the weakening job market, weakening consumer demand, and of course, higher interest rates that are likely, very likely to continue and to be pretty brutal for a while because of resurgent and very stubborn inflation. I mean, some of the inflation numbers are going down. Oil is less expensive, obviously, than it was a month ago, and that is helpful. But it's pretty sticky. And the U.S. Federal Reserve Board, the head Jerome Powell, has made it absolutely clear that he's going to put priority on his key mandate of bringing down inflation down to 2%, and he was quite explicit that he's willing to do that even if it risks or creates a economic downturn. So I think those who are dovish about the central bank's actions are wrong, and I think he's going to be pretty tough. Now, if inflation moderates, it won't be necessary for him to be as brutal as some fear. But there's a pretty high risk of inflation. I think Bloomberg put it at about 38% next year. You'll never see these the news media predict inflation. Predict a recession. Unlike some economists who've picked 12 of the last 5. So when a recession happens, it will come as a bit of a surprise to the news media. But I think people are quite worried about it, and of course here in Canada we should be as well. We trade. We do 75% of our trade with the United States, and it obviously have profound implications for us.
Gary Maher, how do you read the tea leaves here?
Well, it'd be very, very difficult for me to add anything to what Joe said on this subject. But I think that when I read news media coming from places like the Japan Times and other sources that I consider to be credible, it does appear that the United States is in a recession. And how long it lasts really depends on how long inflation stays with us. This is, as Joe has already said, obviously should be of concern to Canadians as well. But look at what's going on in places like Europe and how that's going to have knock-on effects to the North American economy as well. So it doesn't look like a particularly sunny prospect going into the fall and into next year. But we'll see if central banks' strategies of really focusing on inflation are going to help out in the end.
Are you, Gary Maher? Sorry, Joe, did you want to add anything? We've got about 30 seconds.
I just wanted to add the fact that we are in the middle of a really profound energy crisis, and that is going to have a severe impact on Europe, and it's going to affect its economy. It's already impacted oil prices. We know, of course, that Germany and others are under the Putin boot. He's basically blackmailing them, and they're trying to get as much oil as they can because Germany imports about 40% from Russia in the form of gas.
We're going to just take a brief break.